Hello and welcome to the LoveThat podcast. I'm Mark, and here with me are my colleagues Charlie and Marcio.
Hi.
Hello.
This podcast is about all things creative.
Specifically the subjects of design, digital and video.
With other stuff thrown into the mix. As well as being able to listen to us, you'll also be able to see us and what we're getting up to on our YouTube channel.
We're currently on our podcast set, which has kindly been provided to us by the University of Portsmouth.
With a big thanks to the CCI department who are helping us to film and record this series.
So, this episode is all about us, and the big question you all have is, what is LoveThat?
Well, before we can answer that question, we need to take you back in time to this time last year.
The pandemic again?
Not the pandemic.
Not the pandemic.
Not the pandemic.
Stay clear of the pandemic.
Good.
But it definitely was this time last year.
It was around this time when we were thinking about doing it.
Yeah, when we came up with coming together to do the strategy for the team, like you usually would every year around the financial time, to come up with objectives and goals, it became really clear after kind of the last year and a half that there was so much more potential in our creative services offering than what we were currently giving out to the business and our clients.
Yes, definitely. I think we've talked a bit about this before. Where we work built environment and communication industry is all very traditional sometimes. So the creative bit is a little bit limited. So we just wanted to repackage that to help us not just for our capabilities, just to show them how and display them a little bit more, but also as well for recruitment, which we were struggling a little bit about that time.
Yeah, and I mean the main reason behind it is we've all come from creative backgrounds, and not to say that BCG, where we currently work, isn't creative, but it's just the clients and the work doesn't really push the boundaries like we have done previously. So I think this was a big step and a big kind of way of thinking about how we can push it forward, how we can push ourselves, and how we can push the team.
Yeah, and one of the main drivers was that those clients that we do work with, and they love working with us in the creative capacity that we currently do, is a lot of them outsource the bigger creative projects to other agencies. And like we said, there's that creative expertise in-house, but there was kind of no avenue for us to be able to talk about it and show them that. So kind of the main driver behind creating what is LoveThat is to give us a platform to basically promote those services and give our clients and our colleagues more access to some of those things that we can do.
And like the whole process, so a lot of thinking went into it, and it wasn't just thinking from the senior level. There's a lot of thinking that included the team, the whole creative team. And we all got together, we sat in a room and we just talked about what we wanted to do, who we wanted to work with, and how we wanted it to look and feel.
Yeah, well, I remember as well that more than that, we were thinking, who are we at the moment? Like, what are our capabilities? What we can do? Because we kept saying this is not about creating a new entity out there necessarily, but this is just about labeling a little bit better and marketing ourselves a little bit better. Because we kept saying as well, I remember when we did the presentation later on to Steven and Andrew, it was, this is not something that we want to be, this is who we already are, but people don't know about it. So it's about just making sure that this is upfront, and what eventually became to LoveThat, but at the time it didn't even have a name. But it was just about making sure we can pull it forward.
And I guess that leads into, from the rule-breaking sense of our name and why we chose LoveThat and what our other options were that we put forward.
It was so funny when we were going through that and all the different names and what we thought we would get across the line and what we didn't, and you know, whether we had a really strong connection to what the business currently is and what it stands for, or if we went more left field with it. And it to land where we did, and you guys both know that LoveThat was one that I was always super passionate about from the beginning. But like you, Mark, you needed selling into it at the start.
Big time.
Marcio liked it.
I liked it from the beginning as well. I didn't like the other one. No.
Tell us how you really feel.
I think the reasons behind it for me was mainly because of the word love and the connotations around that. I thought it was quite feminine. And I nothing against that at all, obviously.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yes.
But some of the other names felt more kind of all-rounded. But the more, obviously, we went down this route, seeing all the visuals that we've created, the branding, and obviously the feedback from our CEO and managing director, it kind of changed it round for me, and I kind of bought into it a bit more.
I think that was the main thing, wasn't it? Is that whenever you look at anything, and we can talk about, our clients and the work we do, if you don't give them context, and this all comes back to, how important storytelling is within creative, whether that's design, user journeys, video, if you don't have that context or that solid foundation behind something, it is very hard to buy into. And I think what really helped with LoveThat is, especially from a team perspective, is when you started to see our values coming together, what it is we stand for, what we're trying to achieve within the business and for our clients, looking at topics that have never not been around, things like inclusivity and accessibility, and actually bringing those into the spotlight and making sure that they feel very much ingrained with everything we do, so that when we present things to our clients and we get that reaction that we want.
Exactly. I think everything, all of that, it kind of funnels down to that one feeling, to that one reaction, that phrase that we're looking for, which is LoveThat. And after we named it, or even when we became one of the options, which, as you say, I liked from the beginning, you realize how much you hear it. Not just in our industry, but all the time. It's such a recognizable phrase to say that you not just like it, you love that's perfect, and it's a quick reaction. You don't have to think about it. Not necessarily means you know what I mean? It's a reaction phrase, not that involves feeling, which I thought it was perfect from the rational. But it goes, everything, all the work that has to go behind it for that moment.
It's definitive, isn't it? When someone says LoveThat, you know. There's no ambiguity. You don't have to try and read between the lines. You know how they feel.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's followed by a but.
Yep.
LoveThat, but. Clients, right? But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
I didn't realise how often I used it. But even just outside of the work environment, like talking to friends, to family, I say it, and then I realise I say it now because obviously it's our brand, and it just makes me notice it even more. But I think for those of you listening, every time you say LoveThat, you'll probably recognise it even more now.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
We should patent it to get some royalties every time someone says LoveThat.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's just like the tip of the iceberg with it, though. When you think of it, that was the starting point, is the name piece. We did all the groundwork at looking at the market, who's out there, who we admire, where we kind of fit, and then we got the name. But then bringing the name to life in the right way wasn't necessarily straightforward. So if you think back to kind of the workshops that we held with the team, when you think of that initial art direction, it was, like you were concerned about, it was a little bit fluffy and a bit too centered on the word love rather than the emotion of LoveThat.
Yeah, it's a reaction. And so I think that's an interesting point. So obviously you just started this episode by saying this time last year we were thinking about this, thinking that this is something we need to do for the year coming. So what were the next steps after that? So then we thought, okay, what do we need to do? No, we had that meeting with the whole studio and say who we are at the moment, what is not being showcased. And then what happened? Can you remember all the process? Obviously, it's being a year into the making.
Can't forget the process.
How did that look? Obviously, for those.
It was really in depth. Like what we didn't want this to come across was that it was just, we wanted our own cool logo, we wanted our own cool identity. That was quite secondary. The whole driving force behind this was positioning ourselves better for our business and our clients so that they get more access to the capabilities that they're not seeing on the surface. That meant a lot of kind of research and development. So we looked at, like I said, our audiences, both internally and externally, those other agencies out there that are, that we love and we think are doing great, where we sit in that field, and even down to our services, like coming up with what we actually want to lead with as opposed to what we do and we're comfortable with was actually it took us out of our comfort zone because we had to really think about what we do kind of as standard, we know it with our eyes closed, but what are the projects that we really wanted to go after? And if you guys think about what it was for you within those kind of coming up with your services, it was quite an eye-opening activity.
Yeah.
After you.
No, sorry. I think obviously it's been a long process. Also, it's been different to what we usually do for clients or what we usually do for something else because we're just trying to pull forward, as you're saying, our leading abilities we already have, and case studies we already have. So we were saying the one thing that was one of the requirements was the brand needs to be established. As soon as you come out, it doesn't need to look like a startup because it's not. We've been in the business long enough. We have long establishing clients and projects. So it's something that it gives us a different outlook to the whole process, I think, because we were not thinking, how should we enter the market? It's about we're already in it.
Yeah.
It's just how should we just
how do we
portray
talk
it?
to them?
How we talk
to
about ourselves in a better way that showcase those creative services. And I think for myself, especially these last 2 years, being a huge growth into the digital just because the pandemic and all of that, but not necessarily in the creative space, but more in the engagement space, like reaching people and audiences. But I think we're all in the creative industry because we want to do something innovative each time, to break something else each time, try something doesn't work, try it different next time. But it's interesting how even though our core kind of income is coming for a particular subject, we're not leading with those on this case.
Oh, not at all, because it's the work that we want to do more than what we're currently doing. And for video, it's the bigger the better. Obviously, the more crew, the more gear, the higher budgets. It's all the stuff you aspire to do when you go into your career, especially within the video realm. You aspire to be within TV, aspire to be within film. You don't aspire to be doing talking heads for corporate companies. Not saying it's a bad thing, but you want the bigger and you want the better budgets and you want to be wowing people with what you're making.
It's like a chef, right? A chef doesn't work at a restaurant and aim for okay. They don't want their patrons to eat their meal and go, yeah, that was all right. A chef aims for that was really nice. They aim for those Michelin stars.
Or love that. They say, oh, love that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there's in the creative industry there is that kind of misunderstanding that if you're in a corporate environment or you work with clients that work in more structured companies, that there isn't creativity there, and I think we can all attest that is completely not true. What we're trying to do is expose them to those creative avenues that might not necessarily be their first point of call. It's giving them kind of that confidence that they know we understand what they do and how they do it and why we're asked to work the way we're asked to work, but also that, you know what, they really get us. Let's try that double the budget with video. Let's try something more interactive for digital. And it's given them the confidence in us that we have that whole kind of holistic view of what they're doing. And we've all worked in different industries. I've worked across sport, corporate, you name it, I've done it. And this is by far the most creative role I've had in probably around 8 to 9 years because of the breadth of the projects that we get through our clients.
So I think we should move on from this subject.
We could literally talk
I've just
about
been
this all
waved
day.
at saying we're nearly at 20 minutes already, which is mental.
I literally could talk the ears off
We
of
do
anyone
talk,
that will
we do
listen
talk.
on
Sorry
about
this.
As this is our first ever episode, I think it would be a good idea to obviously let people know who we are, a bit more about who we are, not just our names. So we've come up with this idea that we're going to, with the kind of love theme around LoveThat,
It's Valentine's Day.
and we are launching on Valentine's Day, that we're going to have a bit of a speed dating round. So
Bell. We've got a bell in speed dating?
well, I don't think we have a bell.
I've never done it. I've been married a while
But
now.
what
We
we
can put in post. We can put in post.
Put it in post.
But what we can do, we can get Luke, our floor manager, to time 2 minutes, if that's cool. And he will just shout, it's fine, when the 2 minutes is up. But we'll each have 2 minutes
Okay.
to go through this list of questions.
To say my name in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes, yeah. If you
just
can,
my name.
if at all. So what we'll do is, if you're all right going first, Marcio.
Oh, am I? Why?
Yeah?
Okay, I guess
Me
so.
and Charlie will ask you the list of questions that we have, and then we'll just go round. Okay?
So what is it?
You go first.
Oh,
Yeah?
thanks.
How about that? Cool. Ready, Luke?
Go on.
Go.
So, how old are you, Marcio?
I need to make this answer take 2 minutes, or all answers take 2
All,
minutes?
all answers.
Okay, because I'm going to say, okay, 34.
34. And how long have you been in your current role?
This current role, this current company is probably 6 years, getting into 6 years, 5 years and a half.
But you've been through a few iterations of this company, haven't you? Because you used to be remarkable.
Yes.
Now you're just okay?
I'm just okay now. Yeah, we used to be remarkable. So when I joined the company, the name of the company was Remarkable, the Remarkable Group, and it consisted of remarkable engagement, remarkable content, which is very similar to what we're trying to do now, but because of different circumstances, it was decided to specialize on the communication and the built environment industry, which I don't think anyone can negate. It's been great for us. Like, we've grown so much in the last few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, he created the funny joke of, we used to be remarkable, we're just okay now.
Literally said it to me in my interview and I've never forgot it. And how long have you been working professionally?
Yes, so professionally, I define professionally as getting paid for work. So that's probably from uni. But I was saying this to you guys the other day, like my last year of uni or something like that, I started helping the teacher into doing some
Teacher's pet.
Teacher's pet, or teacher assistants. So I took a couple of like lab classes for the last year or so on, and I got paid for that. And then when I finished my degree, because my degree is in a little bit more systems engineering and so also industry, so I could go into more corporate stuff. So my first job after uni was in a bank, was in the marketing commercial side of it, but a lot of spreadsheets, and I still kind of use all I learned on spreadsheets from that job.
Yes, you do.
But then, yeah, industry, then into webs, in-house, and marketing since then.
We've just been told that's 2 minutes already.
Sorry about that, damn.
You just love to talk.
I do, sorry about that.
We got through like 3 questions.
We didn't even get onto your hobbies, Marcio.
No one cares about that, it's fine.
No one's going to find out how nerdy you are. Keep that for the next episode.
Yes.
Right, Charlie, you're up.
Ah.
So another 2 minutes, please, Luke. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. How old are you?
37. Shut up.
I feel like I don't quite know that. People always ask me, and I say, I don't know.
38 next month.
How long have you been in your current role?
Just over 2 years.
What is your current role?
I am the head of creative services.
And what was your previous role?
My last couple of jobs, I was head of studio, I think it was, and then before that, I was global art director.
How many years have you been working professionally?
Lots. I think it's about 16 or 17.
Straight from uni?
Pretty much, yeah. Nothing as
Nice.
glamorous as Marcia. I didn't get to work at a bank.
What is your favourite piece of work to have been involved in, and
Okay.
why?
So I struggled on this when we were talking about this the other day, but I had a good think about it. And I think the one for me that stands out is I worked on when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather a couple of years ago, and that was one of the most insane whirlwind projects you can ever imagine. I mean, anyone that's not been living in a hole knew that fight was happening. It really brought mixed martial arts to the mainstream. But it was an intense project to work on. It was one of those ones at the end you really felt like you'd achieved something.
I can imagine, because that was like the biggest fight in history,
Oh,
wasn't
it was mad. I was so mad.
What do you like to do outside of work?
Eat.
Nice.
You eat at work?
I do really badly as well. Like, honestly, working from home has been much better on my digestive system.
But you were saying you eat more in the office than at home.
We do.
Yeah.
We're bad
You eat-
influences.
you eat
I find the
more-
same as well.
You eat more unhealthy food in the office.
Really bad influences.
Do you have any hobbies?
Not any good ones. I'm a bit of a loser. I play Sims 4 a lot still.
That's a hobby,
At
surely.
37
Hobbies.
years old, I still play Sims. Actually, I'm not a loser. I'm proud of that.
Time's up.
Oh my
time's
God,
up.
that was
And you
so
ended
fast.
on, I'm a massive loser. So
Oh, that's a good one. We should cut a phrase for people and put at the end of the episode.
Oh, no,
I'm just looking for post-credit stuff. Too much Marvel, I think. Cool.
He's
Can I ask you?
doing, he's doing
it's
Mark.
me.
Marcia's doing Mark.
Hit me up. 2 minutes?
Yes.
Go.
How old are you?
33.
You're the youngest of all.
Baby.
How long have you been in your current role?
4 years.
Oh, yeah.
4 years, I know.
What is your current role?
Head of video.
What was your previous role?
Previous role, I was a video producer for the IBM Global team.
Yes. Yes, good. How many years have you been working professionally?
Since I graduated in 2010, so 11 years, nearly 12, maybe.
What is your favorite piece of work you've been involved in?
So in my previous role, we filmed a lot of the IBM conferences over the world, and they had one every year in Vegas. So I got to fly out to Vegas, and I was part of the editing team. And I got to edit the keynote, and the keynote speaker for this event was Will Smith. So I got to watch and listen while I edited, and it was awesome.
And then you party with him.
And I wish I partied with him there, yeah, if only.
It's close. What do you like to do outside of work?
Outside of work, so I play football every Tuesday, or try to play football.
Play football.
We do that. That's
And
true.
then I like to spend time with my family, my wife and kids.
Good.
No.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, football.
Well, good.
And in my spare time, I also brush up my skills on my video. So I like to make small videos for my Instagram.
For the
Yeah,
gram.
that's probably, I don't know if it's for you the same. Yeah, sorry, actually. Let's come back to that one later. Let's finish this.
Just have to talk.
He just
Did you complete
digressed.
further education? If so, what?
I did. I actually came to the University of Portsmouth.
Oh, look, they cut him off before
sorry.
he could say anything.
I was just about to give you guys a shout out as well.
Sorry about that. Cool.
But yeah, I actually did the video and broadcasting course, which is the same course as all these guys. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you're a product of this.
I'm a product
of this
of
factory.
this factory. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
We need to discuss now what's going to be on the next episodes.
What is going to be on the next episode, Mark?
So we're going to talk about the theme of LoveThat in a bit more detail, and specifically around the design side. So your area, Charlie, and we want to basically touch on the feelings and the connotations around love and emotion, and what specific techniques and skills from a design point of view factor into that, well, conveying that emotion, whether it's colour science or, I don't know, you know this well better than me.
Yeah, so essentially what we're going to talk about is, and what's great is that, you know, the three of us, we all kind of lead in different functions of the services. So Marcio Digital, you Video, Mark. What we're going to talk about is how the three approach conveying emotion, or how much impact and influence emotion can have over the audience and the message through those different mediums.
So I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today.
We hope you've enjoyed getting to know us better.
In the next episode, we're going to explore the connection between emotion and design.
If you like what you've heard and want to know more, please get in touch. Comment below the video or email us at hello@lovethat.co.uk.
Bye.
Bye!
Bye.